Hello, this is Mrs. Fontanes. I'm going to be going over a PowerPoint concerning cells, cell structure. We're going to look at the basic unit of structure and function of all living organisms, and that's the cell. So these are the assignments that you're going to turn in as a result of the two videos. There's going to be a part 1 and part 2. Number 1, you're going to turn in the basic structure of a cell diagram. That's on slide 2, or slide 3 maybe. Some notes: organelles distinguishes prokaryotes from eukaryotes. Slide 7 or 8, these slide numbers could be a little off, okay? You're going to put notes. Also, you're going to copy notes on types of eukaryotes. Number 4, the Venn diagram. And number 5, a list of word roots. When you complete these assignments, you're going to take a picture of it and email it to me at eileen.fontanes@fwisd.org. Okay, so the basic structures of a cell. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you, even though it says go ahead and Google these structures. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. All right, so this is your first thing. You're going to take a picture or draw a picture of it. I want you to put some squiggly lines to show the DNA, some dots, okay, and then this blank spot, and then, of course, the circle around it, okay? What are these structures? Well, these squiggly things are DNA. That's the nucleic acid that contains genetic information for heredity for most organisms. That's the information that your cells need to make you look like you. Ribosomes. Ribosomes produce proteins for the cell, very important for muscles and also for hormones. Cytoplasm, that's a jelly-like substance that supports and protects organelles in the cells. And the cell membrane, that provides a protective layer around the cell and controls what comes in and out of the cell. So take a moment, pause this video, and copy this diagram. Once you do, all of your assignments will be emailed to me at this email here. So this is homework that's due today. All right, it looks something like this that you'll take a picture of and email it to me. All right, well, the discovery of the cell, almost 400 years ago. Look at that, mid-1600s, Robert Hooke, using this old-looking microscope, okay? And he was looking at cork bark. That's the outside of a tree, okay, that layer. He was looking at it, and he saw stuff looked like this. And he said, hey, those look like the rooms or chambers or cells in a monastery. So that's why he called them cells. So let's look at the cells. We now know there are two types, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Well, the prokaryotes, let's look at these first. Notice it has a lot of stuff inside there, but no compartments. Things are scattered. This green stuff is the DNA. Okay, there's no nucleus. It's not contained in anything. It's just scattered in there. There's no membranes at all. It tends to be very small, micrometers, okay, or micrometers is also another way of pronouncing it. These are like meters, okay, kilometers, centimeters. Well, these are micrometers, very small units. Okay, they can be unicellular, meaning just all by themselves, organisms like archaea and bacteria. Eukaryotes, on the other hand, they do have little compartments. Like you can see right in here, this is the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, you have your DNA. You can see there's other structures outside of the nucleus. These are all membrane enclosed structures or organelles, you know, like your heart, your lungs. Those are organs in your body, and they have certain jobs or functions. Well, same thing here. We have little organs or organelles in a cell. They all have different functions. They all look different. Now, overall, the eukaryotes are larger than the eukaryotes, and they can be unicellular, in other words, one-celled organism, or multi-celled organisms. For example, we are multi-celled organisms. Plants, animals, fungi, and protists. The organelles are distinguishes prokaryotes from eukaryotes. In other words, you can identify a prokaryote and eukaryote just by looking and seeing if they have organelles. Organelles are structures only within eukaryotic cells that perform specific functions, like chloroplast for photosynthesis and the nucleus for the DNA and RNA. Organelles are not found in prokaryotes. So I want you to copy these notes, only what is in yellow. Okay, take a moment, pause the video, and copy what is in yellow. Well, let's look at prokaryotes. Just like that chart, archaea and bacteria are examples of prokaryotes. So in this case, the nucleus, I'm sorry, there is no nucleus, but it does have DNA, as I'm circling it here, right here with my arrow, and it has a cell wall. The cell wall protects it. It has a plasma membrane, also known as the cell membrane, cytoplasm, and ribosomes. So it has RNA, ribosomes, cytoplasm, and a plasma membrane or cell membrane. So those are the four basic things that a cell must have, and prokaryotes have that. But they have no organelles, they have no nucleus, although they do have a cell wall for protection. This is a picture of a microscopic picture of a prokaryote. Notice it doesn't have anything that distinguishes it within the cell itself. It does have what is called flagella to help it move around, but it lacks organelles, no organelles. When you get sick, a doctor might take a swab of the back of your throat and puts it on this agar gel. This gel has food for these microscopic organisms, and they spread it around, and they do some testing. They allow them to grow for a few hours to a few days to see what develops. And then they check it out in the microscope. So you can see that what's grown here, and they put it on a microscopic slide and they look at it. And what they see here are different types of bacteria. So if you have a bacterial infection, one of these will show up, and the laboratory can identify what type of bacteria you have, and the doctor can give you the right antibiotic. Anti means against, bio means life, so something that will kill those bacteria. Viruses are not alive. That's why antibiotics are not very useful for viruses. It won't kill a virus. Okay, so we have talked about prokaryotes, and now we're going to talk about eukaryotes, but we're going to talk about it in the next video.